Hey, what's up guys, it's Oakley from Teach Iffy Productions, and we're going to be talking about what Trish from CA posted over on the Total War forums. So basically what the topic of it is Sparta, a return to glory. And you can see this image right here that was put together using the in-game engine and units. They try to recreate that, the obvious 300 poster of the movie. This looks so sick, it looks awesome. I'm amazed that they were able to pull that off. But anyways, what they talk about in this post right here is that, of course, the Spartans that we're seeing in Rome 2 are actually, Spartans in the future, not the ones that you saw at the epic stand at Thermopylae. That was 200 years earlier. Actually, so what this article talks about is what it might feel like to play as the Spartans. So, they talk about the Spartans' glory days are in its past. So, Spartan, obviously, they were known for having their extremely strong military, and the Lycurgian reforms, and all that stuff, creating the Spartan military war machine, essentially taking young children from a young age and raising them. They talk about all that, was what built Sparta. Sparta, of course, was leading militarily in all the Athenian cities, its main rival Athens. But when it came to fighting the Persians, the Spartans were given overall military command in the Greco-Persian Wars, and then eventually in the Peloponnesian Wars, when Athens, in the aftermath, basically had its colonies everywhere. It was Athens against Sparta and some other groups. It was a very costly battle, but Sparta eventually came out on top, although it strongly hurt them. And then later on, at the Battle of Leuctra, which was in 371 BC, against the Thebans, the Spartans were actually dealt a heavy loss. So traditionally, Spartans would line up, the massed phalanx against each other, and because of the phalanx tendency to move to the right, the Spartans put their king and all their elite warriors on the right side. So in response to this, Thebes, instead of mirroring this, Thebes actually put a much deeper column to match the Spartan strength, and they massed all their infantry there and their cavalry, and they were able to push and break through the hardcore Spartan troops, and reverse basically the trend of Spartan victories, and they were able to break Sparta there. Sparta obviously survived as a state after that, but they lost, they were really knocked down. And so that's kind of where it picks up right now with Rome 2. And so what the article talks about is right now, you're taking over Sparta, 200 years after Battle of Thermopylae, Sparta has been on decline. So what are you going to do? How are you going to recover from that? Of course, if we were to follow history, Sparta eventually declines, and then in 146 BC, basically Sparta is taken over by the Roman Empire, and it becomes a tourist attraction for Roman citizens. But you were able to reverse that with Rome too. So they talk a bit about, what is it going to be like to play as Sparta? And they say Sparta is going to be a really hard faction to play as. Basically, what you're given is a landlocked territory with your control of the Helots. So you do have strong military advantage, in the forms of the Spartan troops are still very powerful, but they're expensive and there are not too many of them. What bonuses do the Spartans have? Well, they are able to have this bonus on home territory, especially if you build the monument to Leonidas in the 300. It's kind of expensive, they say, but if you're able to build that, it gives you much more public happiness, and your units have higher morale. In addition to this, the Spartan faction benefits from having better management of its slaves, and also greater leveling up and experiencing of its units. So you'll have hardened units, and they say the Lacedaemon, basically your home territory is going to be rock solid, but expanding is going to be hard. You don't have a port city. And so right now you're at war with Epirus when the game starts off, and it's kind of hard for you to expand, and that's the main thing they talk about. Is a Spartan player, it's going to be hard for you to expand. You're going to have to rely on Athens for the time being, to provide you with the military, or the access to the ports and trading and stuff like that, because Sparta doesn't really have trading power. So you're going to have to play the diplomatic game. At the same time, they do say Sparta is dwarfed by, the Roman Empire, the Seleucid Empire in the east, other large factions, and Sparta is going to have to be really opportunistic and strike out here and there. So they say it's going to be actually really beneficial to players who are more adept with using their numbers efficiently and strategically. So you're going to have to use your forces. Every engagement is going to have to, be either an ambush or be something where you set it up strategically. And they talk about really timing things perfectly. Wait too long and your neighboring factions will become too strong and Sparta can't, attack. but attack too early, and maybe you'll get overwhelmed. So what you want to do is, they say in this, create spies and agents that you can send around. You're really going to have to get a feel for the area and strike where someone's weakest, ambush armies here and there. And Sparta looks like a really pretty dynamic faction that you're going to have to, fight against the odds and bring it back to its glory. And that's what it is. I think what it comes down to when you're fighting as Sparta is, changing history, making a stand just as Leonidas did, and showing that you're worthy and getting that Spartan name out there. So this is going to be actually a really interesting faction to play for. I was initially debating what faction I would play if I do a Let's Play, and Sparta does have that challenge to it, and it takes a lot of skill, and I think I might try and tackle that. Then again, I do like the flexibility of having a lot of cavalry, of versatility of troops, whereas Sparta was, the hard-hitting Spartan troops, that veteran fast. But then again, who knows? I'll try my hand at it. But anyways, that's basically the gist of what this article is about. It's pretty interesting. I like how they're giving us this expose on the factions and a bit on what it might be like to play them, so you can kind of think about the extreme depth of strategy and all that, and what it might take to win. And it seems like Sparta is going to be one of the hardest ones to be able to win as, or at least progress. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. I'll get back to you with some more news. We have additional screenshots, etc. And I'll throw that up in another video soon. Anyways, thanks so much for listening. See you guys next time.